Bondo Convo. Bondo Convo, Bondo Convo, Bondo Convo, Bondo Convo. Bondo Convo, Bondo Convo, Bondo Convo, Bondo Convo. Are the conversations that you're having. Remember last night we got into victimhood being dependency. This week we're getting deep into the aspects of those layers when you remove the shadows. As you start doing your shadow work and start doing the internal work, the thing that comes up when you peeling back the layer are the dependent attachments of each layer. So it leads into, are the conversations that you're having, are they based on the cosmetic or the service repair? Like, ooh, it's a quick fix, nigger rigging, as we understand what that is. Nigger rigging? Or is it based on really looking at the structural integrity? Yes, I just command made everybody. Spirit bombs and everything. But is the energy that you're putting into that space, is it based on the cosmetic or the surface, or making the surface look really, really good and making you feel good, or making you either usually when we think about the aspects of the ego and when we're having these conversations, like we think about Bondo as like surface repair. So it makes us either feel super good or super bad. It makes us feel one or the other. So, and from that aspect of that conversation, since it is cosmetic, we don't look at the structural or the underlying rising. We don't look at the structural underline of why it happened in the first place or why we're having that conversation. To go into that build of this Bondo Convo, the conversations that feel good and it's a quick fix, it lasts for a little bit. It's like, take something as simple as on the can of Fix-A-Flat, it says do not ride with this for any longer than you have to. On makeup packs, it says it gives you directions on how to use the makeup and what it's meant for and how it's used to use. But we get so stuck in the surface level of things that we look for something better in the external to keep us from having to actually do the work. If we look around, like, instead of somebody, I looked at a video a couple of days ago, and the chick was like, ass shots where, and she went through a 90-day process of doing her squats and going to the gym. And she took the before pictures and after pictures. And she went through the 90-day process. She was flat pancake booty, and then she gave herself a rounded shape. She went through the process. She went through the internal aspects or the internal structure of herself and changed and invested in that change to become what the result that she wanted. Instead of going to go get that consultation with Dr. Miami, and Dr. Miami makes you feel really, really, really good about going through the process and why you need it. And then this is on that contrast of the halo effect, hit you with the halo effect or that bias to make you feel good about it or feel super bad about it and make you feel that you need it based on the emotional impulse. Remember, all this week we've been getting into, a lot of us are moving in that, as that fear pattern that a lot of us are moving in is no longer working because you're seeing that you're moving in an impulse. You're connecting based on impulse. So you feel like you're indulging in life, but in reality, when you're indulging in life, the key to it is you're actually able to sit there and you can grow within it. You can enjoy it truly. There's no codependent aspect of you having to do it. It's not feeling like an obligation. A lot of us have that thought process of feeling this sense of like it's an obligation. So when you're going into this aspect of the higher aspect of yourself, what's up family? When you go into that higher aspect of yourself, this is true indulging. I indulge in every aspect of my day because I've disciplined myself within the aspects of my day. So I can have fun with my entire day. I have fun with my entire day. Everything the things that I don't want to deal with, the things that come up in my day, since I have control of my day, I'm in the gratitude of my day. The things that come up that kind of put me into a mood to where it's like challenging me, I'm more self-aware of seeing what it's there for. I'm seeing it for what it is. Great rising, great rising. Like as I've said, like as we've been saying before, going through these aspects of the understanding of removing the codependencies, a lot of us are in a space where we're stuck and we don't understand that complex of victimhood is that ultimate codependency. So anything that is gonna give me the impulse or the propel me in that same space, I'm saying a lot of P words, propel me into a space to keep me seeming like I'm doing something, but at the end of it, it's like the ultimate line that we hear in all of these movies, I can do bad all by myself. Your role as the asshole, because that's what you are, the one that sees it without the bias, is to look at somebody and as soon as somebody says, oh my God, I can do bad all by myself, or nigga, whoever it is, says they bad all by themselves, and then their car break down, they lose their job, they say all of these things, it's your job to honestly say, you said you can do bad all by yourself. That's what you asked for. In this space, of, especially now that the energy has you in this quantifying center, and it's quantified, your thoughts are now visible into your space because now there is no more veil. There is no more I can escape or run away or I can go over here or I can put myself into a space and not deal with it. That's not available anymore. As it happens for you, remember it happens outside of you in reflection. You've been in this space, but this is why it's key to do that work. You've been in this space, but it's time. And then once you realize it, it's like, I use it for an example. If I sat into a space and I talked about it last night, thinking about my jobs. The reason that I needed my job was not because of the money. It wasn't because of the money, because once I made the money, I still was there. It wasn't because of that aspect. It wasn't because of the money. It was because at a point in time when I first needed my job, it was because I had nowhere to stay. So I had to understand the underlining aspect of why I needed my job. So when I got myself together, when I started stabilizing myself, the reason or my need changed. But I had to understand that because I got the job based on that premise or that thought process, you received it. Everything that you get when you ask for it, when you ask for it, you get the entire box, you get the entire package at that point in time. I was thinking about this as I was on the way to the gym today. You get everything in that box that you need. The parts that are marked spare parts, they're marked as spare parts. You get everything that you need. So if you want to come into the space of, yo, I want to have the best relationship ever. Knowing that you're talking to your aspects of your higher self to bring yourself into unity, that's when that old relationship with friends, family, all the relationship goes sour. It was designed to do that. That relationship with that family member, that friend, whoever it was that they're not seeming to get right, that's what it was designed for to do. That's what came in that box. Because it's showing you the aspect of detachment. But a lot of us get stuck in the aspect based on we're used to being attached to things based on the independent monologue. Remember, within independence is dependency. So I'm independent. So I'm in alignment with dependency. The key is to become self-sufficient. Your sovereignty, your freedom is based on self-sufficiency. if there's something that I do not know, and somebody else specializes in it, I'm going to go over there and outsource that information. I'm going to go get that information from that space. I'm going to apply it to my space. That way I don't have to outsource anymore. Now I become self-sufficient. I've subjected myself to the attributes of that space to learn it, to become the attributes of what I need to learn from that space. I'm not looking at it based on the surface. Oh, that nigga got the car. That motherfucker got the chains and all of this stuff right here, doing all these good things and all this stuff in their life. That person doing all these good things in their life. I want to be just like them. You didn't understand the process of how they got there. Peace, peace, Supreme Risings. I'm not in that space anymore for myself. I don't, because this is what happens for a lot of us, and we coming in that space, the shadows becoming dense. You're starting to see how things cycle through and repeat, because it's always going to repeat itself. So let's say you got that house, you got that crib, you got that car, you got whatever it was, and the way that you received it is now coming back up and around for that to cycle back through in that box. Cycle through in that box. So now the same process that is meant for, now that it's repeating itself, or it's coming back to the forefront, it's showing you what you need to work on. It's always coming into that space to show you what you need to work on. Like, I remember every single day when I would sit there inside of my space and I was like, tacos. Lost the whole train of thought. Hold on. Well, we don't skip and come back. But, oh yeah, I remember sitting in my space every single day and building aspects of myself. And it was like, I remember I had to stop looking at the result. I remember I had to stop looking at the result that I wanted. I had to stop looking for the result that I felt that I had a longing for. This becomes a space that happens inside of a lot of us when we're going through this aspect of our work. We have a certain set parameter in our mind that we focus all of ourselves into that. That's what I want. That's what I want it to be. And then as you keep going forward, you notice that the imagery changes because it's not about the result of what I'm looking for. I'm not looking based on the external aspect. I'm looking to learn as I'm creating within this space. I'm looking to learn and thrive within my space for myself. I'm learning how to build I'm learning how to build. That's what's coming back online for you. This is what the process is of you really disciplining yourself in what you do. And really you're not doing any of this shit based on the expression or the validation of others. You're not doing any of this based on the validation or for anybody else. You're sovereign, you're free. It's not on you to sit here and try to prove to somebody why you're free. It's up to them to prove why you're not. That's what you're always going to see. Me waking up at 5 o'clock, starting my meditation, starting my day. If somebody were to look at me and be like, I couldn't do that. They're showing me in real time their lack of discipline, why they can't do it. It's not up to me to sit here and be like, it's not up to me to sit there and say, well, yeah, you can do it. All you got to do is this, and this. I've already been through that feature. They have to be willing to learn that aspect. They got to be willing to come into that space. This is what happens with a lot of these Bondo conversations that you're having with individuals, and it's only going to the surface, but there's no structure. You're not looking at the structural integrity of the space. What is the framework of what's inside of that person? What stops them from doing that? What is that vice connected to? What is that vice in correspondence to? You have when I say you have everything that you need, it's all there. But you have to remove the filters, remove the glamours and the projections that you put on yourself to stay within that space. You really got to put yourself into that space, because this is what happens with people like, I want to do a spell, or I want to do this, and I want to do this, and then something pops up that that's not the result that they wanted, or they desired, they wanted or needed, and it'll leave them feeling bad. But what does pop up, every time you do your work, what pops up is what needs to pop up. That's why I'm always going to say, that friend, that relationship that you want that bomb-ass relationship that you're wanting, that great love affair, that great soul union that you're wanting and you desiring in your life, this is going to be the year for it. Go look in the mirror. Go in your bathroom or your full body mirror. Go stand in the mirror. That's the relationship that's the relationship you got to look into. That's the relationship you got to work on this year. Build that new foundation of that relationship. You cannot take yourself from that apple on that tree. Once you fell from the apple of that old family tree, you can't put that apple back on that tree. You can't put yourself back on the tree. You already fell. You have one choice. You have to go back through the process, fall on the ground. You have to go through the rotting process. You got to go through this putrid line of events, the traumas and everything, and then learn how to structure yourself so you can build your new self. This is one of them keys for a lot of us that's what a lot of people are scared of. I did 2 consultations the other day, like that's one of the biggest things that we've always been in fear of. And the first thing that we look at when we're inside of that space is we'll sit there and say to ourselves you know what, but this is the reason why we can't do this, or this is the reason we can't do that. Which can be true. I heard an interview yesterday on my Instagram, and somebody had hit it with, they were like, the reason that we cannot get ahead is because they don't teach financial literacy within schools. Okay, that's cool. But why are you waiting on somebody else to teach what you can go learn? What's stopping you from starting that spark? What's starting you from building that foundation? Instead of looking at it based on the surface value, to be able to say, they don't teach this and this, they don't do this, they don't do that, he don't do this, she don't do that, they don't do this. Subject yourself to the attributes of that ideal space to understand its historical purpose. Understand the purpose of why it's there, what its design is. Half of the times we don't understand why something is designed the way that it's designed, because it's in the reflection of your human design. You got to look at it through the aspect of thinking about it like this. One of the biggest things that I'm getting deeper into the human design charts, and I'm going to explain I'm going to go even deeper into human design charts this Friday night when we get into Emancipation Proclamation. That's going to be one of those lectures this Friday. But the reason you seem to buck against systems and buck against the design systems and buck against the things that are inside of that space, basically, yes, exactly, the inner child blaming, is because you don't understand your design. So, of course, if I don't understand my design, I'm going to automatically have conflict with every other design system that's outside of me. Divine Dad. I'm always going to be in that space. Everything here is for you to learn from it. Everything is a physical manifestation of something from you to learn from. But you want to fight the process. You have that longing and needing to yourself. I'm longing and I'm needing for this, and that. Find out what you're longing and needing for. That relationship that you're going to try to get into, that best relationship of your motherfucking life. Go look in the mirror. That job that you're wanting to give you the best quality in your life. Go grab a candle, hop in front of the mirror. That's the job. That's your dream job. Trust me. That house, that car that you're wanting, I want you to go sit down and I want you to start listening to that audio book or watching them aspects and start taking that information in. That's the vehicle that's going to lead you forward. I want you to be fucking great. And the only way for you to become the best is actually to start applying. Being honest with yourself. Stop doing these botch Bondo jobs, these box-ass shots, these box-ass plastic algorithms to make you feel good on the outside, but meanwhile the internal structure is in disarray because you ain't working on it. If you want take the aspects of destiny to the aspects of your health. If you want clear skin, you gotta have your skin to breathe. What comes out of your pores, I don't remember the last time that I sweated salt. This is an example. I don't remember the last time that I sweated, my salts tasted salty. Because everything that is in my body's in constant detox. Everything that I'm putting in, the filters and the parameters that I got set for myself, bar none, the best. That's God. I'm in my Titan self. Everything that I put in here burns off and then I can use it. Because you learned the process. I want you to be the fucking best. GodaCoAlchemistLLC.com. That's the place for the services. Natal chart analysis, design chart, human design chart analysis. Shut up for that shadow work consultation. Start with the shadow reading. Start with that shadow reading. We get into what you need to release, what you need to forgive, what you need to accept at this point right here to move forward, what you need to forgive in order for you to start moving forward and doing that work, what you need to release in order to start getting into what you need to do to that work, where you will learn, where you going to learn, what's going to help you, and yeah, that's the aspects of getting into that shadow, getting into your shadow work. I want you to be the fucking best. I want you to fucking grow. Also, this week's episode, God Hour Podcast, is out now. Streaming on Spotify, Breaker, iTunes, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, God Hour Podcast. That's capital G dot, capital O dot, capital D dot, Hour Podcast. Type it in. This week's episode, lowered expectations. Those old proximities and those old gauges that you used in your life, they're not going to work no more. But I did this, and this. That shit ain't going to work no more. I used to do this and this and this and this at my job, and I got this and this. I did this and this in every other relationship, and I got this. That old proximity, those old gauges that you use, they're not going to work in the new foundation that you're building. Time to get deep into that structure. Those old words and actions, and I'm following niggas' words and their act. I'm not following words, I'm following actions. While you sitting there busy following words, words can be manipulated. While you sitting there going through actions, actions can be manipulated. But if you pay attention to the pattern, I can guarantee that you're going to catch what you need to catch and see what you need to see outside of that emotional. I want you to be the fucking best. Inbox me, GodaCoAlchemistLLC.com. Schedule that consult, schedule a reading, get a reading, consult. I want you to be the fucking best. I'm amped as hell right now. I love being amped with y'all. I love the support. Appreciate the support. Everybody that tunes in. This Friday night we get into Emancipation Proclamation. The best thing to do at starting up the new year, the Emancipation Proclamation, and understanding your sovereignty and your freedom, and understanding that it's not your job. Once you say that you are free, it's only your job to build within your freedom. To become go from being independency to your self-sufficiency. I love you. We love us. Ashe.